you've got to set the ecosystem up first. So we're actively trying to encourage the mosquitoes, because then it's like getting the wildebeest and the zebra. Then you get the top predators in the world come into your garden. Very high in protein. It's actually being looked at by some Dutch scientists being a new superfood for humans, believe it or not.
Oh, take a bite.
Maybe. Love it.
Yes, I am in England, and that is a welcome shirt. There's Mark MJ Wilson.
Hey, how are you doing?
Our rep out here in the UK. Just picked me up from, I'm in London, right?
Yeah.
London. I got my coffee. It's 4 a.m. Chicago time, and I am ready to see some English ponds. Let's do this, buddy. Okay, so this is the homestead and also where you work out of, right?
Yeah, so this is my home. We bought this house in 2003.
Look at that van. They know what business you're in, Mark. And then, of course, you got a water feature right in the front yard. This is a contractor's home. Certified aquascape contractor.
This is a pondless waterfall. Probably the last time that you came, you saw a different water features. My garden is my classroom. I like to play around, and this was a little exercise for one of my guys to play around with some rocks and gravel and build a pondless water feature. We've got a couple of bubbling rocks, very low maintenance, and it's beautiful. We've got a few lights on here with some aquascape lights that come on automatically and then go off like 4 hours. You don't have to switch them on and off. You don't have to worry about it. There's a photo cell built in, and it's absolutely perfect. It's lovely at Christmas. The bubbling effect up on the house, it looks like a fire and it looks fantastic.
And so these are not connected. These are separate water features
100%.
Here.
We've got flowing water down both sides. And people that come to the house, oh wow, where does the water come from? They think it comes from uphill. Everything flows naturally with the slope of the garden. This pond here was built after the pondless water feature, 100% with one of my guys. Kyle built this in 2014. It's a 10 foot by 8 foot pond, 2 foot deep, with a skimmer and a micro falls, and we've got a 5 foot stream upgrade. We haven't cleaned this out. We've done a little bit of detailed trimming on the plants, but as you can see, it looks fantastic. And what I basically did is I put a sitting rock, because I love to come home from work with a coffee. It's just a beautiful, relaxing place, so I can just drink my coffee. The stresses and strains go away.
And what I love, Mark, is talk about making an impact to everybody that visits your home. I mean, this is what you walk past to get to your front door.
And we actually have the filter exposed, because people don't understand that that's the filter. So when I bring people here to have a look, you can see the mechanics, where in your home, we would hide this. We would put rocks and gravel over the top, and also want to see the skimmer, because when I say to people, we've got a skimmer, and unless I take them over there, they don't know it's plastic. They just think it's a rock.
And I love the front water features, but you got to show me the big koi in the back.
The fairy forms, what I created from a fairy garden for the kids to get their imagination going a little bit.
Yeah. Oh.
So we've got loads of tiny little figurines and fairies, and this one is on a remote control, so we can actually fluctuate the water flow. You know, sometimes it's a bit noisy, so if you want to read a book, we've got 3 standard aqua blocks and a pump vault, 1 big pump that sends water up. We've got a 2-inch pipe, and then we've got 3 spillway boxes that we've got control on valves, so I can turn them up and down. On the right hand side, we've got one that's very natural. It doesn't look like a diffuser. Then in the middle, we've got a curtain waterfall or a sheet fall. And then at the top there is a very, very small, very subtle. Again, I have to leave the top of the spillway box. But the mice love it up there. We've got birds. We obviously feed the birds in the holly bush.
That's the spillway Mark was talking about. You can just see a very slow flow out of that. It comes down and just trickles here. And then here's a faster, same spillway with the pump turned up.
This one here is a koi pool. I've actually got to do a bit of work on this one. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put a wetland filtration system on here. So we're actually going to create a hybrid pool.
And look at these guys ready to eat.
So these are basically miniature water lilies. They grow in very, very small, shallow water. So it's only literally 3 inches deep. And also there's a different type of lemna here. And I grow it on here just to keep the water from going green. And I actually feed the lemna to the koi. Have a look at this.
Yeah.
So I just literally throw the duckweed in, feed the fish the duckweed. They love it. They've got teeth in the back of the throat, so I'm not worried about them crushing my fingers.
And each fish has its own personality.
Yeah, they've all got their own names. This is my personal collection. This is Charlie Boy, this is Shadow, Blondie, Fizz, Charlie Boy. This one's Simone, this one's Fizz. She's very erratic. I nearly removed her out of the pond because she's too erratic. I want to be calm. You see these fish are calm? She's very erratic. You see the way she turns?
All right, so you got your pondless. We've got your long-standing traditional pond here.
And now what we've got is we've got another little pondless water feature. The purpose of I've actually built it this way is to slow people down.
Oh, wow. And this is not connected to the pond, but it looks like it's connected. And how big is your property?
It's tiny. It's only a small bungalow. We've got stepping stones across here.
Oh, and you got those rudders in here too.
Yeah, we've got a number of different species of fish in here. We've got goldfish, we've got white goldfish, we've got probably 300 fish in this pond. This particular pond has been built 4 times, believe it or not, as a training aid. We've got 2 microfall skimmers and we've got 2 skimmers as well. So it's basically the waterfall filters next to each other and then we've got the skimmers the other side. We've got a small plant only pond here for wildlife, dragonflies. Lovely for the morning. We come and sit out here for morning coffee. No mechanization in here. It's very still for the damselflies, dragonflies. We've got a lot of newts in here. I've got a few different miniature water lilies. It is literally an underground classroom. We put in an auto doser on here. So we've got no mechanization. So we put in a little few treatments as well, just to keep the water sweet. So this is Luna's favourite pond, really, because again, it's got a lot of frogs in here, it's got a lot of newts. We've got some red ramshorns, which are really special. We've got a number of dragonflies, and I know I've just seen one up here. It's an exuvia of a dragonfly, or an exoskeleton. Oh, here we go. So as you can see, the dragonfly came out the back. So this is an exuvia, this is the exoskeleton, so it's not actually a living thing. And what dragonflies do is they molt 7 times and they get to this stage. And what they actually do is they breathe out of their backside and they catch their prey, shooting out their lower jaw 8 times quicker than a human can blink. It's crazy.
They love mosquito larvae.
Absolutely.
When they're in the water, and they love mosquitoes when they're flying around.
They eat 15% of their body weight a day on mosquito larvae. You look in that pond, there's no mosquito larvae at all because we've got damselflies, we've got dragonflies. We actually build it for mosquito larvae because it's the food of the dragonflies. It's just like setting up the Serengeti and putting the lions and the tigers. You've got to set the ecosystem up first. So we're actively trying to encourage the mosquitoes because then it's like getting the wildebeest and the zebra. Then you get the top predators in the world come into your garden. These goldfish actually came on some water plants. So I've actually set up a little patio pond and they hatched from a goldfish. So they just came in on the plants. And also what we've got in here is we've got 2 weather loach. They grow to about 12 inches as you can see them at the back there. I'm going to put a little bit of chicken in because they actually love the chicken. So if you watch that, the goldfish may have it. But it's literally a case of you watch when they can't see so very well. One's actually jumped out 4 or 5 times and they've been very, very stiff on the floor. Weather loach, they are absolutely, we used to have a dog bed down here. One was covered in hair. They're very, very hardy. They go back in, perfectly fine. And they are literally, it's a case of one's got one eye and they don't use their eyes to feed. It's just the smell. You watch it when it gets that chicken, it will go berserk. Here he comes, here he comes. You can smell it just down here. You see he's attacking each other because you can smell that chicken. And they think he's like, you can smell it. As soon as he gets hold of it. Listen to that. And it was bizarre. I used to have dragonfly larvae and tadpoles in this tank just to learn about them a little bit more. And it was only realised then, they just go mad for chicken. It's crazy.
Mark's yard, the neighbor's yard. I choose this one. So what I love about this is every single twist and turn, there's something different. There's nothing that you could put in this yard that would make more of an impact than water. The landscaping, the little fairy garden, the koi fish. Like I love to say, a water feature turns a house into a home. This man is a lifelong hobbyist that has taken his dreams and he's helping us in England now. We're gonna be back here in December with Mark, teaching other contractors how to create this lifestyle type of an area, how to create ponds done right that are low maintenance, that are beautiful, that are enjoyable for consumers. For me, it's an incredible honor to be able to come back to a country that really is the mecca of water gardening and get him into a new era, a lifestyle-based era, a low maintenance, ecosystem-based approach that works with Mother Nature, not against her. I love my art.